Yeah, he was just a fun-loving, bit of a mummy's boy as well. And he just loved life. He was just full of fun, wasn't he?
Yeah, cheeky, but I class him as a lad's lad. He called home and he told us that he had a bit of a headache and that he'd been weight training. He felt as if there was a little bit of pressure behind his eye and something had popped. So we told him to go and see the matron and get a paracetamol. We phoned him on a Thursday, spoke to him, and he said, yep, felt a lot better. He finished rugby training at about 5 o'clock on the Friday. He'd gone upstairs to his room into the dorms, had gone to see a friend to get a towel off him, borrow a towel. He'd gone to get a shower. The guys had pranked him and locked him out of his room, so he was still in his towel. He managed to get back into his room, and then, let's say that's 5:30, and nobody saw him again until 10 o'clock when the housemaster went round to do lights out and found him dead on the floor. He was still in his towel, so we can only presume that around about 5:30, 6 o'clock, something had happened.
And then they came back 2 weeks later saying it was meningitis. He had meningococcal septicaemia.
I think the only thing that we really knew about meningitis was that it existed. We didn't know about the different strains, so really we were totally naive about the disease.
Hi, I'm Sian. I'm a meningitis survivor. I remember just waking up not feeling well.
I was living with Sian and the boys. Pete was working away, and she came in and said, Mum, I don't think I can drive. Can you take me to the doctor's? And I just took one look at her and I thought, oh, I said, Pete, I've got to go.
I had my sunglasses on, I had closed all the curtains in the house, a hoodie on, because everything was just so bright and really intense. And
she said she had this headache, which she said went from the back of her head and all the way round.
My head felt like it was just going to explode.
So as I'm driving there, I said, can you put your chin on your chest? Is your neck stiff? And she's going, yes, yes. I'm thinking, oh no, oh no.
After that, everything sort of became a bit of a blur for me.
With 20 minutes of getting to the hospital, she was put into a side ward. She'd had, I don't know how many vials of blood taken and lumbar puncture. And then the doctor came and said it was meningitis, but she said it's not the life-threatening strain. And then she was in hospital for about a week. They just put her onto some antibiotics and then just told her when she came home she just had to rest.
I went back to work a couple of months later, and when I did, I wore my sunglasses in work because it was still too bright for me. That was all back in 2017, and now I still have headaches, I get migraines. I'd never really had a headache prior. I get migraine vertigo, where I can literally be crawling on the floor because I can't move.
So I'm going to call it brain fog, memory loss, and also if you kind of see her when she's tired, she'll slur her words.
Bright lights are still a thing. I can no longer drive at night. Noise is another big one. Even going to the supermarket can be quite triggering for me. Yeah, it does have a big impact on the way your day-to-day life goes. Don't be afraid to ask. If you think that it is potentially meningitis, then ask the doctors, ask the nurses and say, this is what I'm thinking.
Knowing the signs and symptoms, knowing the entitlement to vaccinations, allow the Meningitis Foundation to continue to fight to get free vaccinations for everybody. But those signs and symptoms, don't take no for an answer. Run with your gut feeling, and if you think there's something wrong with you, your child, your parents, your grandparents, everybody's susceptible, go with your gut and seek medical advice.